Hey, everybody, look who's back. Scotty G with his Norwegian accent.
Yes.
Hey, man. I have my Tortola accent. Really not really, but I'm here. We are back. We missed a week, but we are going to be taking your calls for the next hour once I get everything set up here on Instagram. So let's get this set. And the problem is we have no idea what's going on in the Disney news.
Nope. I know nothing.
Because I just got back yesterday evening and I've been taking like today to kind of catch up with just, dude, our grass was so high.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, it rained and then it got to be like 97. Just like a jungle. And then just trying to catch up with life, right? When you just detach for like 8 or 9, you detach for so long from life, man. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
What
I paid a neighborhood kid to do it.
Yeah, you would have had to.
And then I kind of questioned if he did it.
Shut up.
Like I came back and the grass is pretty darn high. So
no way.
But I don't want to. I'm too nice of a person, Mike, to be like, "Hey, Vinny, did you mow my yard?" You know. So
Vinny, show me the clippings.
Yeah. But I think I might throw in the towel on mowing. I think I might just go this route going forward and just pay a neighborhood kid.
AstroTurf.
There we go. I'm gonna get the Brady house, have the AstroTurf, the hubgrass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're a Disney podcast. Hubgrass.
We're doing hubgrass.
You could blow out an ACL, so you gotta be careful if you cut too hard. All right, so we are gonna go ahead and get the show started because we have calls coming in. So 408 area code. I see you on the board, anxiously awaiting to talk. Phone line is going to be open questions. We could talk about that draft we did. We drafted the best ways to cool down at the Disney destinations. I went up against the callers, and apparently, according to the clubhouse, I lost. So that's okay.
It was close, man. I went with the callers as well, though. But it was a close battle.
That was what it was. I wasn't mad because I was on a cruise ship when I read it. So what can I do?
That's true. You can't get mad when you're on a ship, man.
That's exactly right. All right, so let us get the show rolling, and we'll be taking your calls after the intro here. So let's do the. Oh man, I got to get the house band ready. It's been a minute here. Okay,
I've hit that button before.
You have hit that button, the big red button. Here we go. I totally forgot. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's on the last. I haven't posted a vlog in a while, but that was the one.
Oh my gosh, I'm anxiously because I talked about this on Mike in the Midwest. The places you went, because I recorded one this morning. The places you went do look fake. I just said that they were so real. They were so beautiful. It was like fake. I mean, some of those places like that's CGI. That is.
I had to pinch myself a few times, Mike. You're like, is this real life?
Real. I was like,
it's like the Fulfill the Dreams. Is this heaven?
No. That cannot be real. Where Scott is right, that is not real behind him. That is a computer screen or something. It is not real. Anyway. All right, dude, I'm so happy for you guys. Like, I loved it, like every day, because you were like so many time zones, like different.
Oh,
it was wild for me. Just it was the weirdest. Seriously, my brain started reprogramming like +7. I was always like, "What's Scott doing now?" +7.
I had to do that too. It was funny because it was the opposite of Hawaii, where I had to do. Yeah, it was the complete opposite of Hawaii. So I had to like rethink my brain from that trip, you know. But yeah, like when I would text you or Jared or whoever I was messaging, I always had to be like, are they awake yet? Hopefully they're in like do not disturb and I don't like message them. Cause like I remember one morning, I mean, real quick, I know we're about to go live. I woke up for like a 3:30 a.m. sunrise because that's how early the sun was setting in Norway.
Crazy.
And I posted something and Stacy was like, hey, like, we're getting ready to go to bed. I'm like, oh my God, my day's just starting.
I put a complication on my watch that was it was London time because I knew that was close because I wasn't sure where you were at that point. And I was like, well, at least I got him in the ballpark. Except for he started. Like, you were in London when I made the complication. I was like, okay.
London would have been 6 for you, then the rest of the trips were 7.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was like, yeah, it's about where he is. Okay, here we go. I don't even know how to start these off anymore, but let's try this. Here we go. Wait, gotta hit that. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP open line for Sunday night, July 14th, 2024. It's the BOGP open line. Like I just said, Mike and Scott back from the 7 seas, combined 21 days at sea right here over the past month. And we could talk cruising if you want. We've got our sea legs. Land legs, maybe. We could talk all the Disney news that we missed. We could talk about your adventures. We're just here to hang out and take your calls for the next hour at 407 413 9395. 407 413 9395. But my brother from another mother been editing Must See Adventures, part 1 of the European vacation, coming out soon. He was doing it poolside this afternoon. I saw him in some pretty slick moves coming down the slide. Checked it out on Instagram myself, saw it with these 2 eyes. We have your friend Scott Gardner. What's up, Scott?
Mike, welcome back. It's amazing that we're back together, man. It's reunited. We have so many things to catch up on. I feel like tomorrow we need to book time on our calendars just to have like a 3-hour meeting catch up, man. So many things to catch up on.
Correct.
Yeah. But I know you probably have a lot of work. I know I have work. I mean, I've been back a week at least, so I'm a little more caught up than you, but man, I love following your adventures. And we were talking about this in the pre-show. Like, you and I never do internet packages when we sail, right? Like, nope. It's an opportunity to unplug, spend time with your family and friends, and just remove yourself from the outside world. But I did an internet package because I needed a way to like transfer all my video files to the cloud so that I had storage on my iPhone because I was taking so much content. But then I wanted to connect. I still wanted to share with you because normally you sail with me, right? Like,
that's right.
And friends all over the country. Like, I wanted to share with them. And then you saw me sharing and all that. And then I was so surprised that you had the internet package too. And they're like, nope, I want to do the same thing. I loved it, man.
2 things. So one is that you peer pressured me into buying the internet because you were killing it on our clubhouse, right? Every day I lived for 14 days to see what you were doing, 19 days basically, when you were in London, crossing the street at Abbey Road Studios and seeing Big Ben and all. I had to see what you were doing. So like, you were doing so well that if I would have not shared some of my adventures, I felt like I was letting our listeners down. So I'll be honest, I took the Patreon money for this month and I used it for that. And plus Paige did not sail with us. I know, big womp womp, but she's taking her basketball team to Barcelona for the very first time. The university approved a women's team to go overseas for an exhibition tour. So she was going to work from the cruise. She was really nervous. I get it. She didn't want to, a lot of moving parts, right? Stress. So I told her, stay back. You got to do your job. It's a big responsibility. She didn't want to be that far from her office with all this going on. So she didn't go. I was going to buy her the internet so she could work. So I figured, well, I was going to spend that money anyway on Paige. So I'm going to buy it for me. We're going to all enjoy it. All the listeners, we're going to get to see what's going on. And I'll be shocked. I was shocked. Like, the internet worked well. Like, we FaceTime we're in the middle of the ocean on a sea day. We FaceTime.
Dude, that was amazing, man. I'm just sitting here watching TV or something. And then I'm like, Mike's FaceTiming me. Like either like he's being deported off the ship and needs me to help him with something. Like, I have to take this because it could be like an emergency for all I know. And sure enough, you were just in the tube, man, just hanging out. And it was awesome. I saw Pam there with you too. You guys were just hanging out, man. It was unbelievable. Like, just think about the technology aspect from these ships these days now.
And we didn't even buy the most expensive package. There's like 3 levels. We bought the middle level, I think. Pam bought it. I don't know. She's like, just click this button. I was like, I don't want to know what it costs, but let's just do it.
Just click this button. I love it.
But it was
that was super cool, though. Cool. Yeah,
it was great.
But yeah, your trip was great. I love seeing all the updates. That's the fun thing about traveling sometimes. Like, you just want to share with everybody because you just want people to know all these cool experiences that you were having. You guys were having an awesome time, and I loved seeing it. And I just want to probably be the 50th person to welcome you back, man. Happy to have you back here.
Well, and I'm so happy to have you back. You got back. We kind of like tag teamed off. You got back from Europe. I headed off to the Eastern Caribbean, got to see Tortola, this beautiful island in the British Virgin Islands down there. Gorgeous.
Looked really great.
Oh my gosh, so much fun. We'll talk about that on Friday's show, so I'm not going to spoil it too much. If you have questions, though, if you're sailing, you want to know about the Eastern Caribbean, about the fantasy, anything with Disney Cruise Line tonight, give me a holler. I'm ready to go because I was just there. Lots of tastings. I'll tell you what, the food better than ever on a Disney cruise as a whole this time. God, the food was so good. I have my new favorite dessert too, 2 of them. But man, and it was a sleeper. I can't believe my favorite dessert. And all 4 of us had the exact same favorite dessert, except for, the chocolate souffle at Palo dinner was.
I was gonna say, your Palo dinner alone was incredible. Like, I mean, I was just like drooling looking at my phone. I was like, Mike is killing me right now at Palo.
In the brunch, dude, 7 desserts. The one day I had 13 desserts in one day. That day I had 7 at brunch, and I had like 2 or 3 cones that day, soft serves, and then I had 2 every night I had 2 desserts because like It'd be
Yeah.
the signature dessert, and I'd always have another one. You know, I'd always have my guy bring me 2.
Our server was funny. He was like, tonight we have a buy one, get one for desserts or anything on the menu. Then the next day, oh, tonight we have a special buy one, get one. It just made me laugh every night.
Ridiculous.
Look, you were taking advantage of the buy one, get ones, it sounds
Oh
like.
my God, I can't believe it. That night when I went to bed, I was like, I started counting. I was like, because I have the picture, like there was 7. And,
7.
and again, here's the thing about cruising, and I promise we'll open up the phone lines. And we're going to talk about this because we're going to record tomorrow. The show will be out on Friday about the cruise we just took. The 2 at the brunch, the 2 desserts I enjoyed the most were ones that I would have never ever ordered. One was something called like a limoncello,
limoncello, yeah.
something. It was like a kind of like a piece of cheesecake, like a slice of cheesecake, a lemon something out of it. It was like eating heaven, and I would have never ordered that because I always go for chocolate stuff, right? And the chocolate things were good, but it was just like it was so light and tasty.
Yeah,
because he recommended. He said this is gonna be your favorite. I was like, whatever. He's like, I'm bringing you all 7 of the desserts. He's like, but try this one. I tried it, dude. I was like fighting Pam for it. Like we were doing over it, man. I was like, back off of the limoncello because that thing is so good. And that's what cruising's about, right? You get to try different things. You go places you've never been. You meet people you've never been. I'll have to talk about this guy Nick. He was like my surrogate Scott during the cruise. Not as well, but we were on the same wavelength every night in the tube. It was fun. And he may be listening at some point because his family's going to listen to the show.
I hope so. That'd be great.
Shout out to the family out there in Anaheim. What's going on? But yeah, so we'll have a lot to talk about, but we'll get to the phone calls here. But I want to ask you one thing. Well, we actually have a question over here, and that Natalie was asking over on Instagram. She says, "Are the blankets better on Disney cruises than they are at the resorts? Basically, just sheets at the resorts." Yeah, the bedding is better, I think, on Disney Cruise Line. Yeah. I don't know if it's just the ships how they rock you to sleep, but God, I sleep great on a Disney cruise.
It's the best. It's the best bed in general I think I've ever slept on. Is on a Disney ship. And I've looked at where their sheets come from. I think we may have looked into it and almost pulled the trigger and bought some. It's just the combination of their mattress and the sheets. I mean, it is like the most comfortable sleep though I feel like I've ever had is on a Disney ship. I'm with you, man. You can sleep like a baby if you get it inside. But the rocking of the boat doesn't hurt any, right? But man, like there's no sleep like a Disney ship sleep, I feel like. But
I'll tell you what though, like our ship did not rock at all hardly for 7 days, like going to the Eastern Caribbean. Like we followed that barrel hurricane that went to the Western. We were right after that, man, the seas were so calm, which God, I hate to say this, knock on wood, I kind of wanted a little rocking.
Oh yeah, you know? I like it when it rocks a little bit.
Man, I was like, man, we had like Dramamine. They had like Pam and Zoe and Mallory were wearing those patches, and like I was like, give me one. I just want to see what it does. I put one on. Like within 3 hours, I jumped in the shower, it was gone. Like she's like, "Where's your patch?" I'm like, "I don't know. I took a shower. Like I couldn't keep it on." So I was trying to. I wanted to see what it did. Didn't do. I don't know if it did anything because it kept falling off. So who knows?
We patched them. We didn't use it either because I've never used it, but we didn't know because the North Sea can be pretty choppy.
Yeah, it does. That sounds like totally.
But there's nothing like it to me. Like I like this. So like you're walking. And all of a sudden, like you're with the momentum of like the ship, and then all of a sudden you're like, it feels like you're walking downhill really fast, and then it comes back at you, and then it's like you're trying to climb up a hill. Like I just like that for some reason. I just love the swaying of the ship. Like maybe that's a me thing. I don't know, but I love it.
I promise phones because that's why we're here. But every morning I ran on the treadmill, right? Because like with my hams, I'm nursing this hamstring, and it's really not getting any better. But I wanted to get some miles in it. So I went up to the Senses Spa as soon as it opened every morning at 6. And there'd be like a group of us on this row of 9 treadmills, right? And the way the treadmills were and the way the motion of the ship was, you were going with the rolling of the ship, right? So it'd be like rolling. And usually it was fine. But there was a few times where like you would hit like a bigger roll, and like everybody on the treadmill was like, boom, and slam their hand into the screen because like it would throw you like that. It's like when you're walking and you get like going up the hill or down the hill. But I mean, you're on the treadmill and you're kind of zoned out because you're like in mile 2, you're just boom. Because all of a sudden you're like slam, but it's like 9 people all at the same time. Like I would have loved to seen like the overhead shot like on the security camera. And I bet you like the people on the bridge.
Your butts up. So I know leading up to this, you were a little concerned about running. So I just assumed maybe you were running on deck 4, but you got were you doing some walking at least on deck 4? Because I know it's like one of your favorite things to do.
Yeah. So what we did was, because Pam wanted to get some activity too. So what we did, I ran every morning super early as soon as census opened up, and then we would walk 2 miles in the morning and walk 2 miles in the evening.
Oh, cool. So you still got some deck 4 time.
Yeah. So I got my deck 4 time just walking, and it was. I mean, there were a lot of people walking on this cruise. It was kind of neat. Like
I love walking deck 4. Yeah.
Oh, love deck 4. Love deck 4. Okay, so phone lines are open. Let's talk Walt Disney World. We got the Country Bears are back open. Tiana's is open. Oh, I did read today they're testing a single rider line at Rise of the Resistance. How about that, Scott?
I saw that too. I have to tell you about an experience at Disneyland Paris that you would really like too.
Well, hey, we're waiting for our first call. Let me know. Let's go while we wait. And
so we went. There's a drone show right at Disneyland Paris.
Correct.
And it's before they do their fireworks show. And we got there an hour and a half before. It's like, because everyone's like flooded around the castle for this. I'm like, all right, let's just get a spot right now. So we get ready to watch it. I didn't know what the drone show was about. I just knew they had this awesome drone show. And do you know what the drone show is themed to, Mike, by chance?
I do not. France.
Oh my God. You would absolutely love it. So it's the Main Street electrical sky parade.
Shut up. Oh my God.
It's the Main Street electrical parade with drones.
Oh my God.
Okay. Just it is unbelievable. They have like the music, that you would hear on the Main Street electrical parade, and they're like Elliot comes out in the sky, and they have all these things. They have a pirate ship that like goes by the castle with like sparklers and stuff too. So it's almost like looks like a firework even. It had to have been the coolest thing I had ever seen. And my jaw was like just dropped to the floor the whole time. And then got me thinking, because I know you saw the drone show, right? At Disney
Springs. Yeah, it was okay.
It's like, why can't we bring this to Animal Kingdom? Like in that theater, because like I'm just watching this, everyone is loving it. And like it got me thinking, like, why can't they do like animals on parade or something, like Main Street Electrical Parade? Why can't they just put like Disney animals like in the sky, from like the movies? In that theater, like that is one of the coolest things I've ever seen that they did at Disneyland Paris. Like in Animal Kingdom needs something like that. I think they could do it. I mean, the capacity, a lot of people will probably draw to it. Like, I don't know, it'd be standing room only maybe in that theater, but it holds a lot of people, I would say. Yeah. So that's one takeaway I took from that. I was like, man, I just want something similar to this, like to come to the States so bad.
Oh yeah. Man, and they play Broke Hoedown, like the theme for Main Street Electrical Parade.
A lot of it. They tweaked it some, right? But it was like with like that auto tune kind of like, I don't know how else to explain. Dude, it was so Main Street Electrical Parade. I have a lot of video. I'll share some with you, but like it blew me away. And then their fireworks show after it, which was good. It wasn't like a Disneyland or a Magic Kingdom type fireworks show, like where it's just like crazy power, but it was really good, I'd say. But it was the drone show. Yeah, just, there's more Disneyland Paris things that blew me away, but like, that's how our trip started. Like, cause we entered at night, like on that first day. So like, well, let's just watch this. And I was like, oh my God, like this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Oh, that's good. And then, let's see here. Mel from down in Australia is going to Disneyland Paris in December. So can't wait to see it. So let's see it soon. All right. So we have our first call of the night. Hey, who's joining us? Thanks for being patient there.
Hi, this is Stephanie calling from California.
Hey, Stephanie out in California. Happy Sunday. What's going on?
Happy Sunday to you too. It's the weather out here. Today's beautiful. Yesterday, the last couple of days, been high 90s. But today it's 80 where I live. So
send some of that this way.
It's a nice Sunday.
It's smoking out here in the Midwest.
I was just at Costco and I was trying to talk my husband into we ordered some sunshades through Costco, and we got like one of those credits, Costco credits you can use there. And I was trying to talk him into using it to buy some tickets for Disneyland. I don't know if you can use it for that, but I was trying to talk him into that.
Whatever it takes, get in there, get the Gibson girl, get some ice cream. That's how you beat the heat in California.
Well, we're actually going to, you guys, for the Magic for Less, we're going to Disney World in December. So you've been helping us out with that.
Sweet. Thank you.
So that's probably why I can't talk him into going to Disneyland.
One thing at a time. One thing at a time. We'll go one step at a time.
Exactly. So I did have a question though, for our trip coming up. So we're going to be there the 25th of December through January 3rd. And so we have, there's going to be 2 families. So 6 adults. So my 2 daughters who are 20 and 22, and my husband, and then my brother and his 2 kids who are toddlers, who are 5 and 2. So we're looking for something fun to do for New Year's Eve. We're not gonna. I didn't plan on being in any of the parks on New Year's Eve because I didn't think it would be very easy for all of us. This is our first time going during that time of year. We were planning already on trying to go to Hoop-Dee-Doo Review, but I don't know if they're open on New Year's and what you guys think maybe if that's a good idea for something to do, if I can get the reservation, or if you have a better idea. We don't want anything like fancy because of the little kids, but we also want something kind of fun and, so.
I think Scott has something for you right
Stephanie, I was just like doing like hand motions to Mike. That is what I wrote. I always take notes when we get calls. That's the first thing I wrote down was Hoop-Dee-Doo ? For your activity. And then you said it. So I think that would be an awesome thing to do. Yes. Because it hits for all ages, like even like the 2 and the 5-year-old. I mean, the 2-year-old like is just gonna hang out, right? Just like sit in the lap and clap along and see all the things. But I think it's just a great engagement for everyone involved. Everyone's going to be in a good mood because it's New Year's Eve and all that. And if you're trying to avoid the parks, that was ideally the first thing that came to my mind. Now, I don't know. Your second question was like, will they do the show? Like, I know some dining on New Year's Eve can be tricky. Like California Grill has like a special New Year's Eve thing, and it's like $400 a person or something outrageous like that. I think Hoop-Dee-Doo will still do their normal show, but I can't say that for certain though.
And I think that is the case. I mean, it probably won't go into New Year's. It would probably be a show that starts at 8:30.
Their normal times.
Yeah, like 10, or something like that. Yeah.
That's kind of like what I was thinking. Cause I mean, by that time we're leaving the 3rd. I think everybody's going to be pretty tired anyway by that time. Mm-hmm. So I was just trying to think of something fun because I feel like just normal times I never seem to do anything fun on New Year's. So I was like, well, we're going to be there. We've never been to Hoop-Dee-Doo. Like, we need some days to like. I think we're taking 2 days to we usually do 2 rest days. So we're doing 6 park days, 2 rest days. Yeah. And I couldn't get good flights coming out from California. So they're like super early in the morning, which I hate, but they're also connecting, which I didn't want. I wanted direct, but I couldn't. So we're probably not going to arrive to Florida, Orlando until, 6 o'clock, 6 or 7 at night. So,
gotcha.
And leaving, it's the same thing. We leave super early in the morning. Didn't want to do that, but that's just how it rolls. So we did really only have like 2 rest days, and my daughters and I and my husband go hard, but my brother's never been, and then he's the one with the 2 little ones. So I'm trying to tell him we need to go back and take naps. He's like, I think he thinks the kids will be okay just taking naps in the stroller, but I don't believe with that. It's not Hoop-Dee-Doo. Do you have any other kind of suggestions? I know like it'll be our rest day, so we can just go around and do something fun, I guess, and then just I don't know. I'm just trying to plan ahead, obviously.
I mean, Hoop-Dee-Doo, that just like was like a no-brainer for me when you were like describing that. Like, no theme park ticket, do something fun at a resort. It's a great meal. Depending on the time, you might be able to see some fireworks too. But I think they're going to do the fireworks at Magic Kingdom probably like at midnight that night. So that might be tough, right?
Oh, okay.
To stick around that long. And sometimes for those special holidays, they're kind of like particular about resort guests being able the ones to be there for the viewing parties. For another fun dinner, I'm trying to think here, Mike. Do you got something else that could be like a fun thing?
That's the thing is, one thing is just make sure you do secure an ADR, because that night everything's going to be on lockdown, right? You have to have an ADR to get into any resort, especially any resort that's going to have transportation, like Skyliner access. Caribbean Beach you won't be able to get into without a defined ADR. Because people are going to be trying to sneak into Epcot resorts and stuff like that. So make sure you do secure an ADR at 60 days, especially if you want to go to Hoop-Dee-Doo, get that so you can get into Fort Wilderness. But I love that idea. Now, Disney Springs, Disney Springs though, with
I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it at New Year's Eve. It might be too adultish going on.
With a 5 and 2-year-old, because the thing is, the locals are going to be looking for something to do without tickets and that's where they're all going to go. Now, see, I was thinking like you got things like Cirque. There's a Cirque show, which is cute because it's called Drawn to Life, and it is a Disney show. But the 5 and the 2-year-old probably lose their attention.
And Stephanie, where are you staying? Are you staying on site for this trip? I'm sorry if you said that already.
Yeah, no, I didn't say it. We're the first time we're staying at Port Orleans, French Quarter. Our first trip in 2015, we stayed at Riverside, and then our second trip in 2018, we stayed at Art of Animation. And so this time we're staying at Riverside. French Quarter. So we're excited about that.
So here's something interesting, and maybe me and Mike can go to the chat here because we're always at Epcot New Year's Eve. I have no idea what the resorts do, but I'm sure they're going to do something awesome at your resort too, especially a resort like Riverside or in French Quarter. Because I swear by that French Quarter is like the best managed resort out of any Disney one. Like their leadership group is just amazing at doing like activities throughout the all day for all ages. Like I'm just always impressed by what they're doing at that resort. So I can only imagine, and they'll release some stuff as it gets closer to that time frame. But they're going to be having activities all day at that resort. I can assure you that.
Yeah, they will. Especially, and you say French Quarter, Scott's exactly right. French Quarter, for some reason, always has it going on the holidays. Like they'll have little activities throughout the day. And I would not be surprised if they do some kind of small countdown, like in the lobby or in the food court or something by the pool. Maybe I can't promise this, but if somebody's going to do it, French Quarter is probably your best bet because they always. They for some reason, like Scott said, I don't know if it's the hotel management team, but they do it better than Pop Century. They do it better than any like the
for sure. And that's not knocking the other ones. They just bring it up a notch for some reason. They do.
I don't know why, but they always have great activities.
And we would love for you to call us in because like I think most of us are in the parks that day. I understand your situation with like the 2 and the 5-year-olds. That's kind of tough if you all want to be together, but we would love to hear like a resort trip report on New Year's Eve because that sounds kind of laid back, kind of chill, something that I could probably get behind, honestly.
Well, I'm not sure how much laid back it's going to be because my daughters want to go horseback riding again. And my brother, he wants the older daughter, the 5-year-old, we're going to try to get her to go do the pony ride. So I'm not sure if we're going to do everything on New Year's or if we're going to do some of it on another day, but we might be like kind of doing our hotel resort stuff that day too. But like you said, it might not be a good day for that because it might just be too crazy with like everything locked down, like you said. Like people are, they don't want to let too many people in the resorts or whatever. So
as long as you have something reserved, they won't hold you back if you have something reserved though. So
as long as you're on the list, like because they're going to check, like they're going to be like, okay, what's your name? What time's your ADR? And then once you have that, you're golden. You can get in. And the trick is once you're in, right? I mean, they're like once you get inside the wall, you can use Disney transportation. You just got to remember that, right? Once you get past the security for that day, you can use Disney transportation and get around the rest of the day.
If you're driving, are you driving or are you going to be using like Disney transportation?
Yeah, we're going to be using the bus. My brother's not going to bring like car seats or anything.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely the bus. And then we're hoping to do the whole transportation, like sampling our transportation, go, trying the monorail. We've never been on the Skyliner. And we've been on the boat. My brother or my family and I have been on the boats and on the buses and stuff. But of course my brother's never been there and we both grew up going to Disneyland and we, love it. But yeah, so we want to sample everything, so everybody can see what it's like. So I'm not sure if that'll be the day we'll do it. Our resort hopping and all that.
I mean, to get to like Hoop-de-Doo for Wilderness, I mean, you'd have to go to like Magic Kingdom, right? Take a bus to Magic Kingdom or somehow get there, then take the boat over potentially, or go to another theme park and take a bus over. So some of those bus rides to the parks might be pretty full, right? Because like everyone's going to want to be in the Magic Kingdom or Epcot that day for the fireworks and such. So maybe packing a little patience when you do that, or try to go at weird times of day for those, like not early in the morning. So it's a little less crowded.
We had quite a big experience in 2018 when we did the horseback riding. Because I started listening to podcasts probably like 2013 or something, and finally decided, hey, maybe we should go to Disney World. And then took us a while, but we did it. But I knew a lot before I got there. Like I knew a lot. So I knew we would have to get to the horseback riding somehow, but I didn't know that there were 2 stables. And so when we took the boat over and then took a internal bus on Fort Wilderness, dropped us off at the wrong stables.
Yep.
So
Yeah, because there's
bus
the
driver
ones that are
forgot
up by there's ones up on the front, kind of by where the car parking lot is, and then there's the kind of the Tri-Circle D Ranch, kind of towards the back.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we ended up at the wrong one, and then we got back on. I think if I remember correctly, we had to go to a different bus, and then they were really nice and got us there. Or within like maybe we were 5 minutes, we would have been late. So I kind of remember how it's kind of hard, I don't know. I mean, I won't know what I'm doing still, but at least I know there could be a problem. I'll be prepared, with plenty of time, giving us time to get there.
You'll be fine. The thing I would, I mean, I do this for a living, right? But I still, if I'm any kind of unsure, I just go to the front desk and just ask, you know what I'm saying? Because that's their job, like their concierge. And I'll say, you know what? I have an ADR for this, give me, because I know, I think I know the best way to get there. But sometimes somebody will tell you a way, and you know what? It's smarter, just for that day, because guess what? Like during marathon weekend, sometimes there's funky transportation issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they'll be like, take this. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's a good idea because that road's closed. I didn't know that. You know that. I don't know that. You're working here. So it never hurts to just ask, hey, I got to get here. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good tip too, to like, I'm not a person that's afraid to ask. Like, I'm like, I'm going to go ask this person. And my family's like, oh my God. But
I'm not either, because I'd rather do that than like spend an hour like, oh my God, I just totally hosed this thing. My horse is waiting for me. There's a horse without a rider right now. That horse wants to be ridden.
Wait for me. It was fun because after my husband didn't want to get up. He didn't want to go horseback riding, first of all. And then he didn't want to get up early. So he and my dad met us over at Geyser
Point. Yeah.
Right. I was want to say Geyser Peak.
Yeah,
they
be a good name
Geyser
too.
Point, and it hadn't been open for that long, and so we were able to eat there. We loved it. It was awesome. That was a nice post horseback riding.
I'm gonna open a new lounge in Lansing and call it Geyser Peak. I like that. I just got an idea.
That's a good idea. Oh, that's
so we're looking forward to it. I'm a teacher, like Mike, was, and I didn't really want to go during Christmas break because it's like, I don't feel like it's enough time of a break. Cause that time of year is difficult, I think, in school, being a teacher. So I didn't really want to go, but that's my only time frame, that's available. So I just think I'm going to need a vacation from my vacation when I get back.
Well, and for years, that's when we went. We always went, exactly when you're going. Like my wife would never go like on Christmas, like holiday, because she always wanted to be with her parents. So we leave out on the 26th, and we'd be there until like the 3rd, like you, because you'd go back like on the 4th or something. And is it the busiest week probably of the year? Yeah, but the thing was, we were always there as soon as rope drop happened, right? And we did so much as soon as the park opened. We were there. Yeah. We were in the front of the crowds. We got a ton done, and we still had time to take a break in the afternoon and go back in the evening, because the park hours are super long, because there's the crowds are big, so they have huge park hours. And we always had the best time because you have the holiday decorations, you have the holiday background loops, you have extra events going on. You have the Christmas parades going on that people pay extra for before Christmas. Now it's going on for free. There are a lot of advantages to going that week. I mean, as long as you are savvy enough and you listen to podcasts, what's going on. You've been to Disney parks. You're going to do great. The thing is, the people I worry about are the people that walk in without a plan that week. You're just in big trouble. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a plan, you're in good shape.
We were supposed to go last month in June. But then I'd had to have surgery and wasn't sure if I'd make it very well. And my husband and I, we hate the heat anyway. And we live in California, Northern California, where it's not, if it gets to be 30% humidity, we're like, what's going on?
Oh my God.
It's humid.
Oh man.
So, and I hate the heat. It gets to be 100 sometimes, but like, it doesn't feel as bad as what I'm sure the heat in Florida was going to be like. Our other 2 trips were February and April. And so the April one kind of got a little bit hot, but like maybe mid 80s or something. But yeah, so I was looking forward to going in June just because I wouldn't have to worry about being tired afterwards, or like I still have the whole summer to, convalesce. But now I'm kind of more happy that we are going in the winter, because I know most likely the weather is going to be a better.
We will see. I mean, it can be warm, but yeah, it won't be the humidity and all that. You're much better off. But you never know; it could be cold too. So you don't know what you're gonna get that time of year. You could be hot, it could be cold. It's way more variable because I've had both. So
when we went in February, we were at Animal Kingdom, and we literally, I mean, we're Californian, so where we live, it's cold. Walking around outside in the cold for us is like 56. That's cold, and being outside. So we're at Animal Kingdom, rope dropping. We had to literally go into the Rainforest Cafe store because all I had was a fleece and like a long sleeve underneath, maybe the tank top under that. I was freezing. Like we had to buy for the 4 of us hats and gloves, and we wore them basically the whole rest of the day. And so we were cold, and it was funny because we met some people from Boston. They're like, this is nothing, minus whatever, and we're like, well, we don't get this kind of weather.
No, you can tell the people
we're not out in this kind of weather.
Yeah, the people from Boston, dude, they're in their shorts. Like they're like, dude, whatever. Who cares? Like I've also run a half marathon down there when it was snowing in January. So yeah, just be careful. I mean, you never know what you're gonna get. Like I had my throwaway clothes. I never threw them away. I still have them because I was not stupid.
Like, I told my brother, I said, no, you need to bring a jacket and gloves and hats for the kids unless you want to have to buy them there because we might need them. And so he kind of gave me this look. Yeah. And I'm like,
that's always red alert when you see Pop Century with the I call them the Walmart mittens, like sitting on the counter. They're not Disney branded. They're just like they send a kid down to Walmart to pick up these 50-cent mittens. But you know what? They're selling them for $5 because you want to keep all your digits throughout your vacation.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
I always say a changing weather day is the best day for the Walt Disney Company because then everyone just buys all
ponchos. Yep. Exactly. Well, hey, we appreciate your call. Yeah, give us a holler when you get back. Or, if you have any more questions for the trip, let us know and have a good one out in California.
Okay.
All right. Good talking to you. All right. Take care.
All
right.
See you, Stephanie.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Hey, real quick, shout out. I listen to this gentleman every morning on Sirius XM on College Sports Radio, Chris Childers with Coach Neuheisel. Every morning as I get in, I'm not lying, as I get in the shower, yell at my ALEXA, little dot thing I have in the bathroom, and boom, he's talking the truth about college football every day. Chris Childers here in the chat. He's a huge Disney fan, been on the podcast during COVID back in like 2020, 2021, when I made the dumbest decision to stop teaching and do travel and podcasting full time. And then all the Disney parks closed. Disney Cruise Line ships parked, didn't sail for like 2 years. Yeah, it's a great decision there, Mike Rallman. But in the chat tonight, so glad to have him here. Listen to him every day. And he just got back from a European cruise.
Really? That's awesome. Yeah. And he also called you the king. Little does Chris know that I was actually crowned as a king on my sailing that I did.
You were. I know. So we appreciate Chris Childers being here. Tell Coach Neuheisel we said hello. And let's get to our next caller as we play. As we play radio guys here, we have our next call. Who's joining us from the 812 area code tonight?
It's Abby and Trisha from Caribbean Beach.
Oh my gosh, Abby and Trisha from Caribbean Beach. You are next to the Banana Cabana.
Somewhat. We call the room we're in it the Caribbean Beach because we're closer to the Riviera than we are Centertown.
Okay. So are you going to get Scott and I a, what are those things called? The Madame Croque?
Madame Croque.
Madame Croque from over at Primo Piatto?
We can try to mail one.
I think it's better, Mike, if we just fly down there and just get ourselves.
So.
Maybe.
You know what?
I think so.
We can meet Abby and Trisha there. Yeah.
We have spent 21 days on cruise ships over the past month combined between us. We do not need anything like a Madame Croque. Like I had a Jimmy John's today, and that was about the right speed for after what I've been eating for the last week. I just needed Jimmy John's. No, so what's going on down there? How are things down in Florida?
Well, we mainly wanted to call to talk up how much we loved Old Key West. The decision, we did a split between Old Key West and Caribbean Beach, and the main reason we chose Old Key West is I was like, Mike and Scott like it. We can get a really good deal with point rental, and it's like my favorite resort now.
I mean, if I had the Hallelujah chorus, which I am going to put on the board because I used it a lot during my cruise and it was very appropriate. I loved it. So you will be hearing that here on the show as a sound bite soon. But Scott, Old Key West, is it? I stayed in a 1-bedroom before our cruise. God, loved it. I could have stayed there forever.
I mean, there's a reason it's my home resort. I mean, it's just gorgeous. What about it is drawing you in? Like, was it the pool, the atmosphere? What kind of is making you say these wonderful things about Old Key West?
I really think it was like mainly the atmosphere and the people, like not just the cast members, but like all of the guests. We stayed at Fort Wilderness for the longest time, and it was like such like a family vibe there, and it was kind of the same thing at Old Key West.
For sure,
it's
just a different clientele. It's Disney Vacation Club members that are dedicated to the company. They've been staying at Old Key West for 20, 25, 30 years. They're dedicated Disney people, and they just love it, and they're passionate about it. I'm one of those people. I've been staying as long, but I am a homer for Old Key West, and I think you're right. It just has this family vibe. Everyone's just passionate about the resort. They love it, and you'll see a lot of people there. Like the buses to the parks usually aren't as busy because people just hang out at Old Key West. They don't go to the parks. They just go there for the resort, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, real quick. I mean, so you guys know, like my wife likes going to the Disney. Like she likes going on Disney cruises. She likes going to the parks. She does not listen. She's never listened to one episode of this podcast. She does not read the blogs or anything like that. She's not into all this. She just likes going on vacation. But when we were at Old Key West, she just says, this place is so chill. Nobody's in a hurry here. She's like, when we stay at Pop Century, everybody's in a hurry. When we stay at Riverside, everybody's trying to get somewhere. When we're at Beach Club, everybody's in a rush. She's like, it's not that way here. Everybody's kind of just like this, their home. Like everybody's just getting ready to chill. And I'm like, you're right. Like everybody's just hanging out by the pool or just meandering down to the gurgling suitcase or, Olivia's. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm old. Like I'm an old spirit. I'm an old fart. Like this is my speed now. This is where I need to be. It's like the Old Key West retirement community for Disney fans or something. Like I'm there. It's me. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing.
It seemed like everyone had like a level of respect for the resort that like you don't see as much at certain other resorts. Like I feel like people would, if somebody dropped something, like you almost guaranteed they would pick it up.
Yes.
And like you don't see that at some of the other places.
Yeah,
I think
it's only
that kind of goes back to the ownership of DVC. I feel like because that's how I am when anywhere I'm at. Like I always feel like I own a piece of Walt Disney World, even though like I don't. Right, but as a DVC member, that's how I feel. So when I'm in the parks, like I pick up after people because I want everything to look clean. And I think you nailed it. Like you see that Old Key West all the time because granted there's DVC people all across all the resorts, but I think that one always has the most. I think, and when you're staying there, it's mostly DVC members and they care. They appreciate their resort. And I love that you made that observation. That makes me feel happy.
So you could tell when we would like run around the parking lot, everyone had DVC annual pass holders. Like definitely the highest amount of Florida place I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was a different demographic than I feel like you get at the other resorts, and I'm in love with it. And I'm like, how can I stay at Old Key West again?
Well, and two, like when you stay at Old Key West, I mean, if you're in passing, if you want to have a conversation with somebody about anything like deep Disney, like somebody you would meet through this podcast, somebody that is in the Disney community, you're going to find them at Old Key West. You're not going to find many people who happen upon Old Key West. I don't think to me, it doesn't seem like you're going to find many people staying there. Like this is their first trip to Disney. Most people are going to be like, oh, you want to talk about points? You want to talk about, back in 71 when Walt Disney World opened, you want to talk about the finer points between Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean versus Walt Disney World. They're at Old Key West. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole different ballgame over there. There are people, to be honest.
I spend a lot of time thinking like what percentage Disney questions, and I want to know how many first visit buttons every resort gives out.
Oh yeah.
Like if there's one number I could know, it would probably be that one.
Which okay, let's do this though. Which resort do you think? It's kind of hard to say though, because so this was a question on one of my Disney trivias last week when I was on the fantasy. Do you guys know which resort has the most rooms?
It's right?
It is, Pop. See, being a travel agent, that did help me. I still lost that. The thing is, like, the same people win all the trivias, and it's like self-graded, so I don't know if they cheated or not. But anyway, I don't cheat. Well, I mean, I'm an SEC football fan. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. But I didn't cheat in that. Okay, so I'm just saying. Anyway, it's a Big Ten guy here. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to this. Michigan.
You all right, Mike?
I'm good. I can't. Anyway, so what do you think though? What resort at Walt Disney World do you think gets the most first timers? I guess it would be a value, right? I mean, because like my first day, I guess, was like with Pam. We stayed at All Star Sports. I mean, because it was the cheapest, right? I mean, that was we were both teachers. We just wanted to go to Walt Disney World. We didn't know what we were doing, so we just picked. And I like sports. I was like, yeah, sports. That's where we went. Where was your first day, Scott?
Mine was Caribbean Beach. Because we wanted something moderate. We were like, are the values going to be like party animals happening, things like that? But it was like, but we can't really afford or don't want to spend that kind of money on a deluxe. So I think a lot of people choose moderates, honestly, because they want to have like a nicer experience in quotes. I mean, you can have a very nice experience at the values, but without knowing anything, I think that's what your perceived notion is, like those are going to be like the partier, like the party animal resorts or whatever. So we wanted something middle of the road. And I think that might be what a lot of people do. Maybe I'm not like most people.
You didn't want to end up on Carnival Cruise Line.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the way I saw it. I didn't want to say those words, but you said it for me. Yes. Like I felt like the values were going to be at the carnivals, and staying at the values, I know that's not true necessarily. So, but I didn't know that then.
No. So Abby, what was your first stay on property? Where'd you guys stay?
Well, we started fancy because my dad refused to stay at a value. So it was the boardwalk.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, that's not bad.
No,
I mean,
not
there's
bad at
really
all.
more to go from there. Yeah. I doubt they give out the most first time buttons, but who knows? Yeah, maybe it is a
stayed in the castle suite the first time. That's where mine was. No.
Pretty good. Yeah. Huh.
Well, I'm glad to hear a great update report on Old Key West. I feel kind of bad. I haven't stayed there in a little while. I've been like, I splashed some of my DVC points over to Alani a little bit, so I haven't stayed on points in a little bit. But I got to get back there soon. And I'm glad hearing from you and Mike that it's still as great as it's always been.
Oh, we loved it. I mean, one night, but yeah, the one bedroom was sweet. That one bedroom's huge.
It is.
I was definitely worried going into it that the rooms were going to seem a bit dated because most of the time we do stay at Pop Century. You just cannot beat that room. But I didn't feel like that room seemed near, like it definitely was older.
It is.
But I've stayed in more dated hotels on Disney property, and I felt it more at other hotels than I did there.
See, the decor doesn't bother me. Like I'm like a retro dude. I like the old aesthetic. I didn't care. Like it had a kitchen, it had a patio looking out on a golf course. I mean, it was big because
it's just weird how they did that awesome lobby refurbishment, which I know people don't care too much about it. It's very clean, very sleek, and then like the rooms don't match it. That's what's kind of weird to me. Like I thought they were going to do a big room matching to the lobby, which they have not done yet. But
it's a good place to
stay.
Well,
we're struggling at Caribbean Beach right now with outlets. Like we're used to Pop having outlets on both sides of the bed and in the middle, and we don't have enough plugs for things. Like we have an extension cord running under one of the beds right now, and then we had to move the luggage rack to make a bedside table. So
that sounds like Mike.
And that is shocking, right? In today's day and age, that with all the refurbishments the rooms have gone through over the last decade, that there would be any hotel rooms on property that they don't have power on both. At this point, both sides of the bed need equal amounts of outlets, and they need to be outlets that have both USB-A and USB-C receptacles. Because the thing is, Disney is requiring us to use all kinds of technology. We need to recharge our Magic Bands Plus. Okay, so that requires a plug. We need to use our smartphones. We need to plug those in, and everybody's got their iPads and all kinds of other gizmos. So yeah, it's kind of inexcusable that they don't go in and at least throw in some, because that isn't that difficult to throw in some plugs on both sides. We had that issue on the cruise ship. I mean, and we were in a pretty big stateroom. We had a stateroom for 5, and I might have known where to go, but my side of the bed had the outlets. Pam's did not because it had the phone. But I did. I don't know how I got this through, but I got a power strip through security onto the ship. I know it's a miracle because those things are banned. But thank God, because we had 2 teen girls in the stateroom, and we had the hair stuff, and they have all kinds. I mean, it was like wild. But if we didn't have that, we'd have been in trouble because we had 7 or 8 outlets on that power strip. But yeah, that's a good point though. Caribbean Beach does need, because Pop Century has plenty, and I don't know why Caribbean doesn't. So they need to get on that.
And like you would thought, I thought they were going to bring the Little Mermaid rooms to the whole resort when they first started on those. I don't really see why they don't.
Yeah, because
maybe that's a long-term plan, but
I just don't. I think they need variety in the type of rooms they offer, and they did that to that section of rooms. It's why they were originally pirate rooms, is because they're the furthest away from Centertown, and so they're kind of so that makes them the least desirable rooms. But if they make them Little Mermaid rooms, they're the most desirable rooms, right? So plus,
especially with Spyglass Grill over there.
The Spyglass Grill really helps. Plus, what helps is back when they were pirate rooms, the Skyliner wasn't there, and those rooms are really close to the Skyliner, so it's not such a big deal anymore. Because I stayed in the pirate rooms for my very first marathon in 2015, and there was no Skyliner, so you just had to walk to the main building. I mean, there was no advantage to being over there other than, hey, you got your exercise. That was it, And
3 a.m. dark walk from the pirate rooms, everyone's dream.
Oh, dude, it was wild. So what do you
love to see that? I would love to see that refurb across the whole resort though, because you have the Murphy bed, you got extra space. Like they're
nice.
Those are nice, and I thought that was going to happen because you're seeing that across all the resorts. I mean, Pop Century has it, the Values have it, like Caribbean Beach. Outside of Old Key West, because I'm a homer there, I think needs the biggest room refurbs out of any resort right now. It needs it so bad.
I agree. I would also like to see the refurbs come to the Princess rooms at Riverside.
Yes. Thank you, Mike. Yeah. If I had a bell, I'd be dinging it right now.
Okay, I'll ding it for you. There we go. So, but I will say, now I like the idea of the Princess rooms at Riverside. They're super cool because they're Tiana themed, and they got all the they got the lamp is I haven't stayed at one in a couple of years, but I think the sink is like a lamp, and the table's a map, and I mean it's got all the cool stuff. But they need to make they need to bring it into today's technology. Like the TV needs to be big like the rest of the TVs around the resorts. The carpet needs to be changed. The bed needs to be bigger. They need to bring the amenities up.
Yeah, it was brutal when we stayed there for Princess a couple years ago. I was like, oh yeah, I'm excited to stay in one of these. It's been 10 years since we stayed in one, and I was like, oh, it hasn't changed one bit in 10 years, and it needs it.
But again, they're sold because people like staying in the Tiana rooms.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, hey Abby, how are things? So things going well down there?
Yep, we are here for about 3 more nights, and then I can really start my DCP countdown because I'll be at about 6.5 weeks.
Oh man, that's gonna be cool. I got to get down there and see you when you're making the magic.
I'm definitely looking forward to finding out what I'll be doing.
Well, I can't wait. I'm proud of you and proud of your family. So you guys keep us informed and keep giving us yells and let us know what's going on.
Most definitely. Glad you guys had great cruises.
Now we did, and we're so glad to hear from you. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
All right, take care. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you too.
All right,
bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, we'll take another call. 407-413-9395. That's 407-413-WDW5. And we have another call coming in right now. So let me get to that. And caller, you're on the air. Who's joining us?
Hey, Mike, Scott, it's Simon from the UK.
Simon, what is going on?
It's late.
Going on? It is late.
Maybe there's a big holiday tomorrow.
It's a bank holiday. It's a football holiday.
Yeah.
Almost.
Holidays tomorrow. No. They did actually. That's funny because they did talk about giving us one if we won, but sadly, no, that's not to be.
Dude, when you lose, then that makes it like a double kick in the whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah,
because you don't get off work and you lost. Yeah, exactly.
I will say that was a great football match today, though. I was drawn in. That was really something. It was a good effort for sure by England.
Yeah, it was up and down. We just weren't good enough in the end. The better team won. Fair play. I mean, they were on fire for the whole tournament. So It was always going to be difficult, but there we go. We'll try again.
Simon, I got to tell you real quick. I referenced you so many times during my cruise because every time an entertainer would come on the ship, I was like, my buddy Simon. This is what he does. This guy is not on for this 7-day cruise. He just kind of flew in because there was a group named Junk. I don't know if you know them. Do you know that? You probably know them. You probably
I've heard of them. Yeah.
They're like a percussion
before,
group.
Yeah.
They're kind of like Stomp, but they play like musical instruments, but it's like
they play like plastic pipes, and bins and stuff like that. Yeah,
dude, they had a crazy show. It was awesome. I loved it. But I was like, I bet you they're not on this shit for the whole time. I kept telling Pam that. And there's a guy that was like juggling knives and stuff and balancing on a, like one of those variety act guys in the adult club.
Yeah.
I was like, that cat's not on this shit for 7 nights. He's probably only on for 2 nights. He flew into St. Thomas or something. So I was like giving it like I knew all this stuff. It's because you told me. I was like, because my buddy Simon.
Yeah, this is it. I've given you a peek behind the curtain now. So you're in the know. You're in the club.
That's right. No, so what's going on? But it made me feel like a big shot there for 30 minutes with my wife there.
I'll tell you what, it's been a day of triumphs and defeats, because you see in the Discord, I took Sully and Sid out to the local fair today, and we didn't even know, but there's like a guy there who's tricked his car out to look like Lightning McQueen, and man, Sully just lost his everything. It was so funny.
I didn't know where that came from. That thing looked like it was straight out of Radiator Springs in Disneyland or something.
Yeah, no, I mean, to be fair, the attention to detail was awesome. Other than like the make of car, it was a slightly different make of car, but yeah, the paintwork job and the facelift was fantastic. Like Sully was absolutely convinced it was like a Cars 4. It was like a new version that was coming out. I was like, well, it's probably not, but I'm not going to spoil your dream right now.
Once he gets old enough to date, he can have his dreams crushed by his first date. Yeah, that's totally it.
Yeah,
plenty of time for that.
Another win that I have had today. So I found out at half time during the football, I won a competition here in the UK, and I've won 2 free tickets to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party.
What?
So I was like, football win or lose, I've won today. That's awesome.
You're like, really awesome. Boo to you. You're like, what's up?
So yeah, when I come over in September, I told you I'm coming over in September now for a week on my own with just a buddy of mine. It'd be the first time I've ever been without the family, so that'll be strange. But I'm also kind of looking forward to seeing what it's going to feel like doing it without the family, if that makes sense.
It's a weird feeling though for a family man. Like Scott knows too. When you're there, it's a freedom, right? You get to be selfish for the first time. You get to do whatever you want when you want. You get to move at like breakneck speed as a family man when you don't have your family. Like, it's crazy how fast you can get so much done. You're just like, wow, this is amazing. But then the problem is, like, for me, like I'm a girl dad, right? I got 2 daughters. It's like I'll see a dad and his daughter like it have some kind of an interaction, like, kind of like a commercial moment from a Disney commercial.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah. I shouldn't be here without Mallory, and then I feel guilty, and then I go get an ice cream and I'm over it and I move on.
I was about to say, little does he tell you, Simon. Well, he doesn't share. Then he sees like a daughter like yelling at a dad, and he's like, "Ah, yes, I'm glad.
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, no, it's all good." But yeah, Susie told me, she's like, "You can't tell Sully that you're going without him. Like, you're gonna have to tell him when you get back.
Yes,
because if you tell him before, you're not getting out of the house, sort of thing,
Oh, yeah,
when you bring him like a good plush or something, dude, and it's all good.
This is it. I'm like, I'll just bring enough gifts home to sort of calm the storm,
Exactly. Yeah, he cries. Look, I got you a stitch. Yeah.
I haven't done the Halloween party since. We've only ever done it once in 2018, and Sully was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months old. We got a picture of him in like this little Stitch baby onesie. It's like cute as hell. But so what I'm actually looking forward to, what it's going to give me the opportunity to do, is things like ride Tron at night, right? Because we've only ever been able to do it during the day, and I'm sure that's going to elevate that experience. But also, do you know, is Tiana's Bayou Adventure likely to be open during the Halloween party or no?
I would think absolutely.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Because I didn't know, what I'm not sure is whether they close some of the stuff down during it or whether it's all open. Like, I just can't remember.
No, that's a headliner. That's going to be open. Now, whether they do probably like a drop for like an additional, they'll probably just be standby during the
I think
party.
it'll be standby. I'm just thinking, The only time I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy like standby is like during like a hard ticket event, where they just don't do the virtual queue anymore. I'm thinking like the wine and dine party, that they would do, Mike. They would just they wouldn't do virtual queue during that. They would just do standby line. So like if you want to wait an hour and a half or whatever it might have been, but I feel like that's going to be such a people eater like during most of the days. I think it's going to be fine. And who knows, there might not even be a virtual queue by September. Like, I mean, that's just me thinking, but I don't know. I don't know for sure, but it will be running for sure though, Simon.
Oh, perfect. And what else is really cool is it lands perfectly that it's going to be on the last night of the trip. So that one-hand luggage bag is going to be filled to the brim with candy for sure.
Yes.
There's Sully's gift right there.
Free candy for me this time.
Snickers for everybody.
I didn't have to pay for the ticket.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta realize the ticket's expensive until you get $72 worth of Snickers.
The ticket wasn't expensive at all for Simon, though. He won it.
Exactly, dude. You're coming out way ahead.
So any other plans for that party? Like, because now you got to think, like, I wasn't planning on doing this now, but now I am. Like, I'm guessing the parade and the fireworks are on your list, or are you going to try to do like attractions during that time because they'll be less crowded during those parades?
Well, the only real attraction that I've obviously never done is Tiana's Bayou Adventure, because we did so well using Genie Plus, and obviously that's changing again, but we did so well using that on the last trip that I'm not going into it feeling like I'm desperate to do everything all at once, even though I know I can move quicker without the boys and Suze, but there's not as much pressure. So I'm thinking, well, I'll concentrate more on the shows, the parade, the fireworks, because I haven't seen the Halloween stuff since, like I said, 2018. So I think I can afford to be a bit more relaxed about it all this time.
100%. Yeah, 100%. You definitely see especially being an entertainer yourself, to take in the shows, take in the seasonal stuff, because that's why you're there. And that is the cool stuff. Oh my gosh, that time of year, and take so many pictures too, because you get the opportunity to slow down and because I love to, the more I go, the more I enjoy just like doing that kind of stuff, being there seasonally and taking pictures, and video and like capturing the memories to take home, because, like you said, like we don't get to be there enough. And so when I'm home and it's January and it's, 15 below wind chill here, I like to pull those pictures out and say, God, I remember that trip in October. It was so fun. Because with kids, you can't slow down to take the picture so many times. You know what? You just got to go. You just got to keep moving.
Yeah, absolutely. You're moving, like you say, you're moving so quickly from one toilet break to another toilet break.
Yep.
And that was something I learned in Europe.
His age, like 2 and 5, that you spend half your time in the toilet. It's crazy.
So that real quick though, so that was like a thing that I had to adjust to in Europe. Like they're not called restrooms. You look for the toilet sign, not the restroom sign. It could be a little adjusting there for a minute to start adding the word toilet to my vocabulary.
Toilet.
Yeah, for sure. But then you go to France and then they look at you if you say restroom or toilet, like they don't know what you're saying as well. So
yes,
it's just an extra layer you've got to deal with. But speaking of France, Scott, was there anything that you would let's play the comparison game, right? So were there things in France that you think were better? So were there things in DLP that you think were better than Walt Disney World?
There absolutely were. And that Big Thunder Mountain is like unreal. That whole area, the whole Frontierland it just blows ours away. I say ours, like I say the Florida one away.
Yeah.
And Simon, how about Phantom Manor? Like I didn't do like enough like research ahead of time to like know the story, but since I've been back, like I was like reading up on the story and the history of Phantom Manor, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that might be like my favorite attraction ever. I'm just like obsessed with Phantom Manor now. That was amazing to me.
Yeah, it's so different, isn't it? Yeah, it's really cool. But a little funny thing for you, the Big Thunder Mountain in DLP, that's the first roller coaster we ever took Sully on because he was just about tall enough.
Oh my goodness!
I honestly thought I'd ruined him for life.
Yeah, you did. And like it got intense too. Like I'm just thinking, like, wow, that was his first roller coaster.
So sorry, I got to jump out. Sid's crying. He's just woke up. I've got.
Oh no, poor Sid.
Okay, no worries. It's the middle of the night. Hey, good morning. We'll talk to you later, Simon. He gotta go. He's gone. He's out of here. That's a good dad there, though.
Sid's crying, man. You gotta attend to them.
he was supposed to be on dad duty, and he's called.
That could be a fun topic, though. Like some of my comparisons to similar attractions.
Well, I
Disneyland Paris. Yeah.
Well, see, I'm planning on this Friday doing a show about my cruise, and hopefully next Friday we can do a show about Disneyland Paris because you were there, and I want to hear all about it because I know nothing, and our listeners, I'm sure, because you have so much knowledge on land and world, we'd love to hear like what it would be like to have a day and a half.
It was cool, man.
It
was really cool.
I got to know about because like your entrance picture, like I want to take 10 minutes to ask you about just the entrance going in, like. Dude, that picture, like I have notes, like I'm ready to do a show on this. So,
yeah, we can talk about the entrance. Like I gotta gather my thoughts, man, because like I'm speechless when it comes to that entrance.
I was like, okay, 10 minutes, we gotta talk just about this picture of going into the park. Like this is wild. This is crazy. That's nuts. I gotta
wait till you see some of the video we took too, because it is so grand. That whole entrance is just
it was unreal.
It's like every castle park needs to be this way.
That's what you said in the picture. And I was like, we got to hear a story. We got to talk. So that's why we have a podcast. So anyway, we got to get out of here. That's about it for tonight, but we'll do this again next Sunday night. So give us a call at 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central, same places, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. We'll be here. Of course, we'll have the shows this week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We got a great trip report coming your way, dropping in just about an hour if you're tuned in live here. We will also have the listener question show on Wednesday, and on Friday we'll talk about my cruise, some highlights there with the dining. But we'll talk about the stateroom. We had a 4A, which was a stateroom for 5 on deck 7 midship. I'll tell you what, maybe midship might not be your best choice if you everybody wants that perfectly midship stateroom. Maybe not.
Not me.
I know. We'll talk about that. But
I'm so actually not to interrupt. I'm surprised you said midship. When you said that, I'm like, oh, Mike stayed mid. I'm like that doesn't seem to be your style normally.
When I didn't book this like super early either. Mm-hmm. And when you go with the stateroom for 5, you don't have as many options.
Yeah,
but
when you need a specific stateroom category,
right. Yeah. And I wasn't paying that close attention. It was fine. It was totally fine. It wasn't super convenient, but we'll talk about that. I mean, I don't care because I get my steps in. We weren't close to any elevator, basically. Spoiler alert, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about, St. Thomas was awesome. We zip lined, we kayaked, we parasailed, we went to the Emerald Beach. We drove on the left side of the road, which you did. We were in an open air vehicle. I mean, we're lucky we're alive. I mean, you know how it is when you're in those Caribbean islands. It was wild. So anyway, it's going to be awesome. We're going to have a good time talking about the cruise. We'll talk about, we got so much to talk about over the next month. So be here for the shows. Don't forget, we're here by the Magic for Less Travel, our big sponsor. Come book your next trip with us to all the Disney destinations. Swing by themagicforless.com. Mention the show, whether you're headed to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney. If you mention the podcast, I'll be helping you out, and I'd really appreciate that. So let's do that this week over at themagicforless.com. Also use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all this possible. Just $5 a month keeps us going. You get the bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. I gave you some highlights, instant thoughts from my trip this afternoon, and it's on the feed right now. It's called Mike in the Midwest. So come on over, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give Scott a follow. He's editing furiously for the next episode of Must See Adventures over on YouTube. We're going to get all the European adventures, 2 back-to-back cruises on Royal Caribbean, a little stay over in London. Before that, got to go to Abbey Road the Abbey Road crossing there. I saw that.
It's Abbey Road Studios too. Is like right there too. Yeah. It used to be called EMI, but now they renamed it Abbey Road Studios. But yeah.
Well, the picture was epic with it. I'm not a Beatles fan. I don't know anything about the Beatles, but I saw like the guys crossing the road. That was sweet.
I have a hilarious story about that too, but man, that was amazing.
So I've got to watch the vlog, so you edit. So, and of course, like he did all the touristy stuff. You went to Disneyland. Dude, he's got so much editing to do. I got to cut him loose because he's got to get back to his computer. So give him a follow on the social so you know everything that's going on. He's at Epscot, EPSCOT. You're not going to regret it. You got to check it out. You all know that already, though, but in case you're new today, Epscot, EPSCOT. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. Give me a follow, Instagram, Twitter, Threads. That's where I post my stuff. But most importantly, come over to the clubhouse. It's free. No ads, no nothing. Just fun Disney fans. It's our community. We have really built this thing up. It's a lot of fun. Come over to beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. We made it easy. So come over and see us today. All right, time to get out of here. We'll be back with you all week, and we'll take your calls again 1 week from right now. We're going to have a good time. We love our community. We have fun with this. Hope you always enjoy the shows. So for Scott up in Michigan, getting back to his video editing, I got to get back to work. Shout out Jimmy and Ben for helping me out this week while I was on my cruise covering my guests. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for taking great care of my guests and letting me have a week with my girls. It means more than you know. I appreciate you guys so very much. So until we talk again, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All right.
Man, no rust, man. You were just like, it's like
No,
you never left.
Whatever.
That was good. That was good. You know, we need to do it. We need to do a trip, Mike. We got to get something on the books so that we can make a vlog together. How about, Mike?
I know we totally do.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, no,
I was like, man, maybe we need to crash Simon's trip in September.
I'm saying that's about the time. I don't have a pass right now.
I know either do I. I know.
I know.
I have a trip though. For Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you have things. I had a because I'm trying to think. I got marathon. I'm signed up for marathon. I'm signed up for Disneyland, and then we're gonna go down to February for cheerleading.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the cheer. Yeah.
So I will
You
have
got some stuff.
I will have an annual pass by January. But hang on. Let me save this real quick.
Oh yeah,
July.
definitely save it.
What is today? July 14th.
14th.
4 edited MP3. All right. Yeah. So we'll figure. Yeah, we do need to get down there though for just fun.
I know.
We need to cruise though together again. Oh,
no, cruising is the best, man.
It is the best.
There's like, especially when you come off a ship, like you're just like, man, I just want to be back on there. Like it's so hard to adjust. Like I normally don't eat breakfast, Mike, and like it's just like now I just want to have breakfast every morning. Like where's the buffet? You know.
Here's my dilemma, right? Like so, I was thinking we need to do like just a quick little getaway cruise, like you did that one Memorial Day.
Oh, dude, that was the best. That Memorial Day weekend cruise.
But okay, I was thinking that, right? Because I just want to get back on a ship. But then I'm like, God, I hate how fast cruises go. Like, I don't think I could do a 3-nighter or 4-nighter now because like a 7-nighter was so fast.
Are you on Friday? Because you don't have to answer this now if you're going to talk about on Friday. Are you going to plan on talking about like how it was going from ship to airport? Because like that is so painful sounding to me. But
you know what? We loved it.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay.
Pam was raving about it because she came home and she said she wasn't beat up from going to the parks. Like we come home exhausted usually after we go to the parks.
Yeah.
And she's like, I came home and I'm just still like, she says, I'm not tired this time because I usually take her to like, we always go in the summer, right? And we always go for like 3 or 4 more days in the parks in July. And by the time we come home, she's just like, I've just destroyed her in the parks for 4 days and she's exhausted. She's like, this time we got off a cruise ship. They filled us up with good breakfast. We sat on a comfortable bus. We got on an airplane. We were home in 3 hours. Like, she's like, so I'm not just beat up. Like my feet. She's like, my feet don't hurt. She's like, I'm not sore. So yeah, it was.
This isn't wrong though, man. Like 4 nights is better than 0.
Yeah. Dennis is absolutely right. Dude, it hurts when you get back to the spot you started. I hate that.
Like that Memorial Day weekend one was so great because it was kind of last minute too. So I didn't even know I was going to be going on one.
That would help if you didn't know.
And it was 3 nights, which, as you know, 3 nights go so quick, but like it was one of the best cruises ever because we didn't get off the ship in Nassau, which we normally don't anyway. But like it was just, we knew going into it, it's just going to be this small window and we're just going to have a good time. And it was great. So like I think if we go into it, we know like we're doing 3 or 4 nights. That's all we're going to do. It's going to be fine. And I said we do it. We look into it, man. Because I would love.
We do too. I'll say we do too, and just stay on. Yeah, and just stay on. Yeah, that's okay. We'll have to talk about that.
It's like Disney is like loving us right now. Like, oh, these guys got cruise brain.
I got to do it again before too long. So, are you available to record this week tomorrow?
I probably should be. Like, I haven't really looked at my calendar, but I don't think we have anything going on. So, if you need me, I do
need you because Pam's out.
Oh, okay.
So I think Ricky will be there. I think I'll send a text tonight. But yeah, if you could be there, that'd be awesome.
Okay, I'll just plan on it then. If you know for sure one of them's out, then I can
totally need you. Yeah, totally. If we can.
Okay.
I don't think the kid across.
Are they doing their cruise? Is that what Pam's doing? Or
I don't know what Pam's doing. She's doing all kinds of stuff.
She's like that. She's everywhere.
She's already did that cruise. She did the cruise to Lighthouse. You're muted. I think. Hang on, you're muted.
There we go.
Okay, there.
Aren't they going to like Alaska or something? I thought like.
Oh, she's going to Alaska, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Or is that later this month?
Because I have her up by my friends, but she won't like accept
I know.
it. Like she sees me, she knows where I am. I know.
Me too.
That's why I know where she is. I don't know where she is, but she's not gonna be here. I don't think.
No, it's so I dropped my. I know we got to go, but I dropped my dad off to the airport on Friday morning. So he's back in California. He's back in California for 3 weeks. So he's kind of fun to watch on Find My Friends because he was in Anaheim today, not Disneyland. He's going to San Diego tomorrow, so he's kind of fun to watch right now too. Yeah.
Dude, your dad is a world traveler now.
He is, man.
Dude, I love that. Oh my god, that's so funny. That's so. I remember you getting him into Uber,
right? Oh and now he is like. I mean, I still dropped him off. I even like held the car on the side of the road so I could quick help him check in his bags because he's never done that before. Like it was kind of stressful a little bit, but yeah, he's living the life, man.
Oh my god, that's so cool. That's so good.
He's got time booked for October, and then he asked me the other day, he's like, "Do you always go to Disneyland in January? Because if so, like I want to tag along again."
See, that'd be cool. So that'd be cool. Are you're going? You're not going?
No, I'm not. I'm not registered for any Run Disney right now.
You should still come out though.
I know that's actually more fun than running.
It would be more fun. Like I don't really want to run because the half marathon wasn't that fun. 10K was fun. Mm-hmm. But this is probably gonna be my last races too. I don't know.
So you keep saying so. Then I feel like I have to go. Like I gotta send you off, man.
I'm just destroyed. My body's just. I can barely walk at this point. So
well, you know my thoughts, but I mean, you work yourself pretty hard there, man.
I know. But my dad, I'm hoping like the Rams are in the playoffs or something, so that they're in LA that weekend. Because my dad's never been to a park, and so that way, if he would be there that weekend, I could buy him a ticket.
And then I feel like then me and my dad had to come out. We do. Like
I know. If that lines up, we'll have to make it happen somehow. I know that would have to be what happens. We'll see though. Who knows? Then I'd have to root for the Rams to make the playoffs, which I don't want to do because I hate the Rams.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. Well, I got to go so I can edit this because Pam and I walk our last 2 laps around or 2 miles.
Just pretend that you're on deck 4, man.
Dude, shut up! It's not that. It's so freaking hot here. Like,
dude, it's blazing hot here right now. Yeah.
So when we went all the way down, we're close to the equator, like down there in like Tortola and 84 degrees. The whole day we were at Castaway Cay. The high was 84 and it was cloudy. I was like, hallelujah.
Did you go to Serenity?
No, we never did.
So we still don't know if it exists, right? Or was it the shark?
I don't know why. I didn't do the 5K. I didn't even.
Yeah, I saw that you didn't do the 5K. Yeah,
we got there so late. We got there we didn't get off the ship till 10:30.
Did you dock late or something? Or
yeah, because we came all the way from the.
I think Jared said something about that too when they're on his.
Dude, I was like, I am not running a 5K at like 11:15. It wasn't that hot, but it was so humid.
I can believe the girls parasailed though. Like they always cancel parasailing.
They're the first one. They're the first ones to go, and it was fine. But yeah, I was shocked. I kept telling them it's probably gonna be canceled, so don't be. I told the whole cruise. But yeah, I didn't do it. I just ran on the treadmill that morning and did my miles. I'm like, you know what? Good enough. Like I've done it. It's fine. Yeah. So
metal probably hasn't changed since last time. Anyway, so
I'm like, I have enough of those. Like, dude, it's all good. So, because the thing was like, we got there like 10:30. You get off the ship at like 10:30, but you had to be back on at 4:45. We had a tasting at 4:00. So we had to be back on the ship like at 3. Like I want to take a shot. Like I didn't want to be like a dirty dog in Skyline at a tasting, right? So I got back on the ship like at 3 to take a shot because there's 4 girls, right? So I was like, shower time. So I had to get on like at 3. So like, I didn't want to waste. I'm not that fast anymore to do a 5K, dude. I can't do it in like 20 minutes. Like it's going to take me an hour, at least 45 minutes, all that changing. Then you have to take your sneakers and all that junk. I was like, forget it. I was whatever. I just went straight to the beach. And
that works. And then that's why I had some cookies as well.
I'll talk about that on the show.
Yeah. We'll hear about it. Anyway, all right. I probably got to go eat anyway. So
okay. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, buddy.
Right. Thanks,
Mike. Everybody. All right.
Bye, everyone.